Make sure when you say yes to others, you're not saying no to yourself. A quote by Paulo Coelho. Today we're going to learn the art of saying no. Now, at the start, it is very difficult to say no. Maybe you're a soft person. Maybe you're unsure about how to communicate your emotions to other people or just how you feel. And you're anxious. You haven't developed that muscle yet. My biggest weakness is learning how to say no to people. That's my weakness. And it stems down from how I was raised. I was so used to always being obedient to my parents. And because I was the young one, I would always, have to do things for my elders, I was raised in an African household. So it's a common practice. It's ingrained in us that we have to obey our elders. So I was raised always saying yes to people. And now that I've gotten older, I've started to see the patterns in my life start to show, where now it's gone as far as someone maybe a year older than me. And I would respect them because that's how I was raised. But I'm now looking at myself like I am an adult too. If I don't want to do something and someone's telling me to do something, I don't have to do it. I actually don't have to. And you don't have to either. The reasons why I find it difficult to say no. I tend to do it to overlook the fact that maybe the task I'm doing or whatever I'm being told to do isn't that big of a deal. Okay, maybe it's, hey, go move that box over there. Maybe it's, hey, go and move that trolley. Go do something, right? And if I say no in that moment, I might be like, it's not that big of a deal for me to try and argue over. What's the point? I'll just go and do it. Sometimes I feel like it's not too much of an ask. They tell you to do something. It's not like I'm moving a planet kind of thing. Okay, I'll go do it. No problem. Lastly, I do not want to have that sense of I'm creating conflict by saying no. And that's the issue. It's fear. Fear is the issue. Fear of arguing, fear of fighting, fear of falling out. Fear of having a rough workspace. You don't want that. That's something I personally don't want. If something can be easily avoided by doing something, then I'll do it. But when it gets to that point where I am actually full on frustrated with the individual and they're telling me, go do this, go do that, go do that, go do all these strenuous tasks, knowing they're fully able to do them and they're putting them on me, while I'm getting paid probably less, or I'm not getting as much respect from my peers, so on and so forth, that's when it becomes a problem. That's when you have to put your foot down and actually learn to say no. Things that people will often bring up when you say no, or you're kind of hesitant when it comes to doing the task that they ask you to do. You may be familiar with quotes like this. Come on, man, do it for the team. Just do it. Come on, it'll take 5 minutes. Please, just help me out. Lastly, why are you being so difficult? Why? In all honesty, what they're trying to do, they're trying to create an atmosphere that oftentimes by mentioning us, we, the team, letting us down, being difficult, why are you letting the team down? Why are you making it difficult for us? And then you start thinking in the back of your head, they asked me to do it. Why am I making it so difficult to do a simple task? They gaslight you, basically. They make it like a group issue. They make it a group problem, and you don't want to be a part of that. That will make you as an individual feel like you have to go and do that because everyone around you is relying on you and you don't want to let the team down and you don't want to disappoint anyone. It's in our nature to not want to disappoint people. That's why it's kind of difficult to say no to people, especially in the tough times when you really don't want to do it. When you don't want to do the task they ask you, but you have to because deep down you fear disappointing people. You see? You should learn how to start saying no immediately to people. The moment you don't feel comfortable doing something, don't do it. Put your foot down and say no. Why? Because you don't feel comfortable. You don't want to. You don't have to. If it's work and you don't want to do it, don't do it. Especially if it's a coworker. I mean, if it's your boss, that's different. But if it's your coworker and he's always telling you do this, do that, say no. What can they're gonna tell the boss, oh, he's not doing the work that you made us both do. You should fire him. No, in fact, they'll look lazy. Saying no helps people understand your boundaries clearer and more consistently. If you say no to things often, people will stop asking you to do things very soon. It probably only takes 3 times before they stop. Whereas if you say yes, they will not stop. They will know that you're always available, that you're always on task, and that there's nothing stopping you as an individual from completing the task. And that's why they won't stop asking when you keep saying yes. People that say yes are often disrespected more than people that say no often. For example, right? You look at a police officer or a lawyer, listen to how they say no. They say it with such dignity, such strength and power, where you can't really question it. When a police officer says no, knowing also they have authority as well with the law, it makes sense. But you also have to have that power as well within yourself to say no and stand up for yourself. If not, it will just constantly walk all over you. When you say no, make sure that you do it in a way that people respect you. You don't want to say no all the time to the point where you scare everyone away. And you don't want to say no in such a disrespectful manner that no one ever asks you for anything again. You want to make sure that when you say no, it's something that you stand on, it's something you believe, something you actually do not want to do. If you're constantly saying no, 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 F off, F you, I don't want to do it, back off kind of thing, then it's not really a respectful way to go about it. Whereas if you say no on things that you actually stand on and believe, whether it be your faith, whether it be your morals, whether it be the workload or just having self-respect, and yes, go for it as many times as you want, because unless people know, they will not stop. So you have to make sure of it by communicating. Do you really want to be a doormat for people? Do you really want people to walk all over you? Do you want people to always know and view you as the guy that will do anything I ask? Because it gets to a point, right, where the person that asks you consistently to do this, do that, do whatever, right, has a level of dominance above you, right? He or she knows that they have power over you, and that because you won't say anything, you won't stand up for yourself, they'll just keep taking it. They'll keep using their power to do what they do best. That's just human nature. You allowing yourself to be in a submissive spot and allow someone else to be dominant over you is your own demise. That is a sign of weakness. You need to change that. Stand up for yourself and say no. Remember this. If you always feel obligated to please somebody by doing something you do not want to do willingly, you are disrespecting yourself. And do you want to disrespect yourself? You only have one life. Don't expect someone else to respect you more than you should respect yourself, because that is not going to happen. Take my advice, learn to say no, build that muscle, build the courage, do not fear conflict, go at it full force, head on, be proud of yourself, get the job done. The only person that will respect you more than yourself is no one but you.